Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is an English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Thursday night, the 1st of Ramadan, 1444, after the Taraweeh Salat at Darul Ma'arif al-Islamiyya, the masjid there in Kareli, Alahbadi, UP, India, 1st of Ramadan, corresponding with the English date, 23rd of March 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this majlis by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. Hazrat Wala is saying, friends and elders, we have been blessed with this great month. This month is a very honorable guest and a visitor, and it is come as a source of barakat for us. Rather, it is the fasting that we are doing or we're going to carry out is actually going to be in gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the Quran that He has given us. So fasting, the siyam, is actually shukran lahu, is as a gratitude and thanksgiving to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given us Al-Quran. So don't just sweep away and dust away and push away this visitor, honorable visitor and guest, which is Ramadan. Rather make qadr, appreciate and value this month. Let it not be like what the Yahud and the Nasara done. What did they do? Dhahabuha, that they started writing the Torah and the Injil in Arabic. But what did they do with the ahkam and the awamir and the nawahi? They abandoned it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then cancelled their kitabs. Now the Quran, we know, cannot be cancelled. However, if we are unappreciative, then most definitely we will be deprived of the barakat of Al-Quran. Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Saheb used to sit on the charpai, on the bed there, and we used to all sit on the ground, on the floor. But you know what? On the arrival of a Hafizul Quran, he would say, Hafiz Saheb, you come and sit here on top. This was the izzat, the honor that they showed to a person who had the Quran in his bosom. Today also, we had Arab visitors, and what was it? What did they say? They said about the recitation of the Quran Majid in Taraweeh Salat, it was done in such a professional manner and read with such perfection that this youngster actually deserves that he makes musabaqa and he goes into these competitions and challenges where he can recite and read the Quran. So what was it? Izzat came with Al-Quran. Hazrat Shaykh Raipuri rahimahullah, he used to say that when students excel in the Quran or complete Quran, then we should hold a jalsa so that we can show appreciation and we can do something in the honor that the Quran was completed, and also to really to put some impression on the heart of this child. If a person understands any other knowledge to be more superior than the knowledge of the Quran, then he has understood the knowledge of Al-Quran to be insignificant. Today we just say Quran. We should say Quran Azim. Today we say Quran. We should say Quran Majid. Allah Ta'ala create the importance of the Quran Majid in our hearts. There were some women folk also that they did not understand, rather they did not even know how to read the Quran. They could not read the Quran. So they would take their finger and read, and they used to say that this is also haqq, and this is also Allah's kalam, and this is also haqq, and this is also Allah's kalam. Now you tell me, are you telling me that even something on that level will go wasted? it will not be appreciated in the court of Allah? No. Most definitely it would be appreciated in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ يُعَزِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. The one who respects the symbols of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that is something very great. It is from the taqwa of the heart. The adhan, we should not talk when the adhan is on. To the best of my ability, I tried my best to keep all my children in this line of Quran and Hadith. In fact, on one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Saheb asked me about the children. He said that, what are you doing and what are they doing? So I said that, Hazrat, all of them are in Arabi. I put all of them in Arabi to learn Quran and Hadith, and he was surprised at that. Let me tell you about Maulana Ali Mia Saheb's mother. It was said to her that you only had one son. Why didn't you put him in the line of English, and why didn't you let him go and study? And what did she answer? She said, if I had 100 children like Ali, I would have made each and every one of them learn Arabi, meaning Quran and Hadith. Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all a great grand connection, ta'alluq and nisbat with the Quran. The Hadith speaks about the scenario on the day of Qiyamah, when even at that time the Malak-e-Muqarrab, the close angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Nabi Mursal, the commissioned Anbiya alayhimu salatu wassalam, when their intercession will come to an end, at that time the Quran will stand, and the Quran will then start interceding. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala starts reciting the ayat of Surah Alam Nashrah. Alam Nashrah laka sadrak wa wada'na anka wizrak alladhi anqadha dhahrak wa rafa'na laka dhikrak fa inna ma'al usri yusran inna ma'al usri yusra fa idha faraghta fansab wa ila rabbika farghab. So Hazrat Wala is saying, trying to explain the surah to the audience and those who are in front of him. Alam nashrah laka sadrak, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, have we not opened your bosom? Yani bil ilmi wal hilm, by means of knowledge and tolerance. Allahu Akbar. So sharh sadr, when a person wants his heart to be completely opened, so that the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can come into his heart, he would most definitely need two ingredients, both knowledge and tolerance. So ilm and hilm. Hilm, tolerance and forbearance, is the highest portion of good character. You know, when I went to Gujarat, this was the first topic that I spoke about. In fact, it was even that in Palanpur. And then I started saying to the people that you have made some little arrangements for ilm by establishing the Darul Ulooms. But what arrangements have you made for ilm? What arrangements have you made for ilm? Rather, you did not even lift up your foot in this direction. Allah Ta'ala give us that tawfiq. So, for ilm, you have the madaris. But for ilm, you would need to establish the khanqahs. And what is the nisab? What is taught in the khanqahs? It is nothing other than that of akhlaq. So ilm is nur, and hilm is the highest point of good character. The level of hilm and tolerance and forbearance in character is so important that we can compare it to that of milh in ta'am, like how salt is such an important ingredient in food. That's how important hilm is in character. Rather, if you look at both these words, if you turn them around, hilm, if you turn the letters around, it will become milh, and if you turn milh around, it will become hilm. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, Also, to Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, recording that incident where he sends Musa alayhi salatu wassalam to go and do da'wat and call Fir'aun to the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Taking that important task, Musa alayhi salatu wassalam makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi shrah li sadri. Oh Allah, open my heart. Again, how? Bil ilmi wal hilm. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with ilm and with hilm. So a person can have ilm, but there will be no beauty and nur if he does not have hilm as well. So Musa alayhi salatu wassalam went with ilm and hilm. But Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Untie the knot on my tongue. Why? So that they can understand my speech. We also learn from this, Hazrat Wala is saying, when you're speaking, you don't speak on such a high level that the people who are in front of you cannot even understand what you are trying to say. They will not even be able to appreciate that ulum and ma'arif that you are passing on to them. Allama ibn Taymiyyah used to say, he used to sit in the masjid and he would carry out his wazaif and his azkar, his ibadat until the time of Ishraq Salat, and he would read Ishraq Salat thereafter. He would say that when I miss out this part of it, my wazaif and my azkar, and leave out my Ishraq Salat, then I would perceive weakness in my body. Allahu Akbar. He was zakir and shaghil. That was his ibadat, his zikr and his shaghal. But what about his akhlaq? People complained about him. They laid a charge against him, due to which he was jailed. His own people then came to him and said, Hazrat, why don't you also complain against them? Then he said, if I really do that, then what's the difference between me and them? That was his character. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us walk on this path towards him. So who is a muttaqi? Actually, what is taqwa and who is a muttaqi? Actually, the answer of this is quite simple. In the terminology, we'll translate it as this: imtithalul awamir wa ijtinabun nawahi. Obeying or carrying out the awamir, the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and staying away from his prohibitions. A person who does this will be understood or categorized to be one who is a muttaqi. Now here, this training that we are being given in the holy month of Ramadan is such a beautiful example of all of this, rather to the highest extent, where a person, his own, and then it is halal, rather it's even water, and it is right in front of him. Then too he's trained in such a manner that he's told to abandon that and leave out that as well, to such an extent. Su'ila Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam an akthari ma yudkhilul jannah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked regarding that which by means of people will enter into Jannah in abundance. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam answered in these glowing terms and words by saying, Taqwallah wa husnul khulq, the fear of Allah and good character. Allama ibn Qayyim says that by means of taqwallah, the fear of Allah, a person would fulfill the rights of Allah. And by means of husnul khulq, good character, a person will fulfill the rights of fellow man. When a person carries out both of these, he will then become salih, and a salih person will enter into Jannah. So this is the tariq, and this is the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Ramadan has come for this very purpose, so that we can reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now let us make dua. Allahumma aati nafsi taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khayru man zakkaha anta waliyuha wa maulaha. Zabardast dua. This is such a great dua. Oh Allah, grant my nafs its piety. وَزَكِّهَا, and purify it. أَنْتَ خَيْرُ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, you are the best of those who can purify my soul and my nafs. أَنْتَ وَلِيُّهَا وَمَوْلَاهَا, you are the guardian of my nafs, rather you are the owner of my nafs. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say and explain it in this way, that, Oh Allah, I can't even purify my own nafs. Oh Allah, I am this individual next to this nafs. Oh Allah, but you are the owner of this nafs. Allah, you are the creator of this nafs. Oh Allah, you also have a haqq, oh Allah, so you purify this nafs of mine. Allahu Akbar. Allah Ta'ala give me also the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal, and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of fulfilling the haqq of the Quran and Siyam and Roza. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.